Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So there are certain things in life, when you see them, you can't unsee them. You wish you didn't see them, but they're in your mind. Try not to think about them, because maybe some of the things you saw, you wish you didn't see. Now apply that mentality and that mindset to the narcissistic relationship. You see, you can't unsee what you've seen. You can't just look the other way and think that you could tolerate their behavior. You couldn't ever do enough, because they were always looking for more and more and more. You couldn't do anything other than to remove yourself, whether it was via discard, reverse discard, or you ended it yourself, because your health was taking a hit. Your mindset was becoming really, really weak. Your clarity was gone. You lost your identity. You became a shell of yourself, and you were working for a person who was abusing you, manipulating you, trapping you, tricking you, and doing whatever they wanted to do to keep you stuck in that low vibrational state, the narcissistic fog. Now, you were existing in that state for quite a period of time. Maybe it was a day, a week, a month, a year, a decade, longer. You're not in that any longer. Once the relationship is over, and once you really understand what narcissism is and what that person you're considering did, you can't unsee it. No matter what you try to think of, oh, it wasn't that bad, or no, they just had a bad day, or no, they had a rough childhood, or it's no big thing. I could look past it again. No, you can't do that any longer. You didn't realize that the experiences you went through had definitions for them, or terms. Example, what is gaslighting? What is triangulation? My least favorite thing that these people use. What is projection? What is mirroring? What is verbal abuse? What is a rage fit, and more? When you wrap your head around what you experienced, your real life experiences with this toxic person, and that these have definitions, and there's a whole glossary filled with these definitions for a reason, then you really, really take the rose-tinted glasses off, and you really understand that, yeah, what happened, happened. Can't sugarcoat it. I can't just wish it away. There's no magic pill I can consume, and there isn't a magic wand that can be waved that can help me to get to where I'm going, which is as far away from this person as fast as I can, and to help me heal. It doesn't work that way. You have to remember also, the healing path is not linear. It will take time. It will take a lot of time, but in your time, you will heal if you utilize the tools that are provided for you with each and every video that I create, from all of the fantastic and amazing and insightful comments from all the other people who at one point were trapped in a cycle. We, the collective, are getting stronger. We, the collective, understand what toxicity is. We, the collective, who were manipulated and trapped in that narcissistic relationship for a period of time, we now understand that getting away from that person or those people was challenging, to say the least, because they try to keep us stuck in that web of abuse. But once we broke one web string, and we broke another, and another, and eventually we were free. The freer we got, the clearer our mind got. The clearer our mind got, the less that person mattered to us. The less they mattered to us, the stronger we got. The stronger we got, the weaker the bully, the coward, the narcissist got. And the weaker they got, then eventually they had to slither off onto somewhere else. Usually it's a new source of supply, or a recycled person who will put them up for a period of time, or loan them money, or listen to their sob story, or their song and dance, or whatever they do, as long as they're away from you. Now, having said that, you can't unsee what you've seen. If you were trying to explain to a person who hasn't experienced toxicity, maybe even a narcissistic relationship like you have, if you try to explain to them what gaslighting was, or what being given the silent treatment was when you were on vacation for 10 days straight, or for having somebody abandon you at an airport when perhaps you just landed, or you were just about to take off in a foreign territory, or if you were trying to explain what financial abuse is. And financial abuse isn't just somebody that you loan $200 to and they never pay you back. Yeah, is that financial abuse? Yeah, it's somebody trying to grab some money from you and not paying you back. Financial abuse is something that is done repeatedly, repetitively. It's when a person's hiding money. It's when the person is hiding assets. It's when a person is claiming that they don't have any means and they need to use your means, or that they claim that your means should be their means and you have no means. Financial abuse is littered all throughout the planet. It's always been there. You're now beginning to understand what that is. But if you were trying to explain that to an average person, they would say, oh, no, they probably just need the money because there was a family emergency, or there's a surgery that had to take place, or maybe they lost their job and they needed a couple months to get back on their feet. Well, no, they had done this over and over and over again. Think of the two words: financial, which was your money; abuse, which is what the narcissist does. What does the narcissist love more than money? You should know it by now. That's right, they love your money more than money. And if the narcissist finds the golden goose, if they find the person who will come up with all the creative ideas and make sure that they do everything properly and build a business behind the scenes or in front of the scenes, or put somebody else up on a pedestal and help them get elevated and help them find how great they could be with the fuel source, which was you and it was me, well, then when you do that, you realize that when you help people out like that, you realize that those people, once they get what they want, they don't care. And they'll claim that you never lifted a finger to help them out, or they did it all on their own, or that your idea was their idea and you never came up with it, or that they were the person who had all the talent and you had nothing. This is what the narcissist does. They want to cast shadows of doubt in your mind. They want to plant seeds of uncertainty in your mind. They want to have mystery shrouding them with people you have never met, you never will meet, other people never existed, and other people that you did know that they were cheating on you with. Now, these are tough pills to swallow, as I've shared over the years, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's why each and every one of us who have been trapped in the narcissistic abusive cycle, once we heal, we all speak the same language, which again is why I can finish your sentence in a split second. And I don't say that lightly. I can do it because I can tell where you are on the journey. I can tell how you're using your words, how your body posture is, if you're looking to see if I'm going to give you a reaction or how it is. And I have mastered this over the years because I was in the cycle. I once was where I didn't even know I was, trapped in a mindset, being manipulated by a person who was abusing me over and over and over again and trying to steal everything out from under me, and then crumbled me up like a sheet of paper, threw me away in the freeway. I didn't think I would make it. Well, I made it. And that is why I have healed, and that's how I've healed, because I cut the 4 ties from the toxic parasite. And I've removed all the parasites off my back and out of my energy field. You see, it starts with one person. It starts with one person you're considering. That's the narcissist, whoever that person is. And after you figure out who they are and you realize you can't unsee what they've done, you can't unsee what you have seen, then the inevitable path, which we all go down, is you begin to look closer at your immediate family, at your other romantic relationships, at your friends, at your colleagues, your neighbors, your cousins, the people you went to school with, your teachers, the people in the yoga club, the people in the book club, the people when you go on vacation. You look at everybody differently and you try to figure out, oh, that person really was an amazing person. I wonder what happened to them. Don't know. This person was just as toxic as the narcissist. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see that. You see, you can't unsee what you've seen. That's why this is a journey for one, by one, and to benefit one. And I'm referring to you and your life. The narcissists tried their best to extinguish you and to take everything that mattered to you from you. What mattered to you probably is what still matters: your mindset, your health, your money, your energy, your time, your relationships, your hobbies, your purpose. They tried to take all that from you. And they did a very good job at trying to almost extinguish you, but they couldn't. You see, unlike all the other people that have been in relationships with the narcissist before you, most of those people didn't make it out. Now, will you ever meet those people, or will I? No, of course not. But narcissism, the wisdom or the education wasn't nearly at the level it is right now years ago. And that is why in the past, many people would just say, oh, it's not such a big deal. That person they had a rough childhood, or that not such a big deal. They don't have the educational level you have, or whatever. And it's no big thing. You have extra, you can help them out. Well, not anymore. Now you're realizing that we are in the age of accountability. We are in the age of the empath. We are in the age of enlightenment. And the last one, I don't say lightly. What I'm saying is more and more people are becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered about learning about themselves, about empathy, about narcissism, about humanity, about boundaries, about mindset, about purpose, about creating, about not being an unpaid helper, not being a walking apology, not being a zombie, not being tethered to somebody who intentionally and deliberately had you working for them. Now you may say, why do you use the term working for them so often in videos? The reason I do it is because that's what you were doing when you were in the relationship. If you weren't working for them in some capacity without being paid, by the way, then they wouldn't have looked twice at you. Working for them, it could mean literally as you're doing their job for them, but what I'm referring to is mentally, emotionally, financially, physically, spiritually, the person who would regulate them, the person who would be there for them, the person who would pick them up, the person who would drop them off, the person who would be given the silent treatment for 5 hours on the way to the mountains, the person who would watch how you weren't introduced again and again and again to complete strangers who the person you're considering appeared to be a little too close with. You see, this is all abuse, and you can't unsee what you've seen. That's why once you've been in the cycle and you realize what had been done to you and how it was done, you need to get as far away from these people as you can. And you need to cut the tethers, like I shared earlier. But your average person will never be able to wrap their head around that. That's why your average person, they are in a place that I call, and I used to be there, called the everyday fog. The everyday fog is just a person who hasn't been abused, or at least they haven't figured it out yet, that they're being abused by the narcissist. It's a person probably who will never research narcissistic abusive videos because they're too busy drinking coffee from the same coffee mug, hanging out at the same water cooler, parking in the same parking space, and racking up credit card debt and trying to overpay for cars and things when they don't have the money, and they're living paycheck to paycheck and all that. This is no disrespect. I did this for years, most of my life, truth be told. Well, that's when you're caught up on the hamster wheel of the everyday fog. That's for a whole different lecture series one day I'll present. But those people, they don't know what you know, and they won't unless they go through a narcissistic abusive cycle. And the third kind of person is the narcissist themselves, or a toxic person. These are the people that dish out punishment left, right, and center to anybody that gets too close to them for any period of time. Could be on a train for a couple hours, could be on a vacation for a couple weeks, it could be at work every single day when you go to work and you sit next to this person 9 to 5 for 5 days a week. It could be your roommate in your house. It could be your romantic relationship. I can't tell you. What I can tell you is once you see it, you can't unsee it. You see, this tagline that I keep saying over and over and over again, and I've used this video or similar videos to this for 5 years almost, 4+ years. It's because I'm refreshing myself, refreshing you, giving you reminders that you can't unsee what you've seen. It's changed you forever. It's trapped you in a mindset of healing. Once you heal, you will realize that the tethers are cut and that you will remember every now and again, not every day, because I don't remember every day. And the only reason I tap into this is to create videos and when I provide one-on-one sessions or I'm answering emails, etc. But I've mastered my skill set because I've been in the cycle. I was trapped in a place I didn't even know I was trapped in, and I can't unsee what I've seen, which is why I pay it forward to help you out, because you may not even know that you were in a toxic relationship. Flip it. Maybe you did know, and you do know, and you've healed, but you're coming back for a refresher. You just want to hear another video. That's great. Welcome back. Continue to keep your cup full. But realize and wrap your head around that when you see it, you can't unsee it. It's with everything in life. The thing is, the narcissist is an apex predator, and they intentionally set out to enter a relationship with you, no matter what type it was, to take something from you. And they really thought that they would take everything and more from you, and that you would never live to talk about it or to tell about it or to see what you can't unsee what you've seen, to actually put two and two together and figure out what had happened to you. I will say this and I'll get ready to close the video. The further you get away from these people, the narcissists or toxic people, you really will understand that your energy returns, because it does. You'll also realize that you're on a journey and you're further along the journey than you ever thought possible, because that's true. Third of all, you will realize that you will lose a lot of friends, because many friends will be casualties of the relationship. Other friends were drinking the Kool-Aid the narcissist was pouring, and other people are secretly toxic themselves. They never wanted you to know. However you cut it, you will be tested and tested to your core, just like I was. But fourth of all, and above all, when you heal and heal properly, in time, in your time, you will arrive at a place that I call the mountaintop of indifference. This is the pinnacle of indifference. This is where you can take a class, teach a class, read a book, write a book, sleep until noon or stay up till 2 a.m. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want, and with whomever you want, if you want to do anything with somebody. Or you can just be. When you have that ability, it means you've healed, you're doing great, the narcissist is out of your life. You can still not unsee what you've seen. You take the lifelong learning lessons of the past and from the past. You don't forget them. You don't dwell on them. You don't think about them all the time. Heck, you probably don't think about them maybe once a month, maybe twice every year. I can't tell you, but you've rebuilt and you've left the rubble in the ashes of that former relationship in the past. You've processed things and you've gone to hell and back, but you see the world the way it really is, not the way the narcissist wanted you seeing it and not the way you were seeing it, which is why you can't unsee what you've seen. I will close the video after this last comment. Remember, I've shared this with you for years on videos. There are 3 versions of you. The first version of you is who you were before you met the narcissist. Wherever you were in life, whatever you were doing, you were just living life. The second version of you is when you met the narcissist and they spun your world upside down. They took everything they could. They were a snake oil salesman and they were trying their best to manipulate you and knock you out for the count. Third version of you is when you remove the narcissist from your life. Any way you cut it, you break the ties, you heal properly. Then you arrive at that mountaintop of indifference. That's the third version of you. That is the strongest, most galvanized version of you known to humankind. There are so many thousands of people who have written me, emailed me, talked to me during one-on-one sessions and more and said, I didn't know what you were talking about years ago, but now I get it. I'm there. I'm in a great spot. And what I say to them, fantastic work. That is what I want. That is what I work for. That is why I do what I do. And I am there with you. And this place exists. If anybody, and I mean anybody, doesn't understand the message that I'm sharing here, it's fine. It's probably because you weren't in the cycle or it's too raw and too new for you, or you're still healing. But if anyone ever questions about narcissism, does it exist? Was it that bad? It couldn't have been that bad. What's the big deal? Just get back out there. Well, first of all, you don't know what you're talking about, or you're the narcissist yourself. Most likely, it's the first one. You don't know what you're talking about, and that's fine. Second of all, narcissism does exist, and it never was supposed to be brought to the forefront. But yours truly has been doing that for almost 5 years. And third of all, the mountaintop of indifference is the polar opposite of being in the narcissistic abusive cycle or relationship. It is where you are thriving. You've elevated, you have ascended, you've changed, and you are now at the best place on this place called Earth. The view is spectacular, the air is crisp, the abundance is everywhere, and there is nothing but harmony, but peace, but serenity, but calmness, but purpose, but direction, and but you and your beautiful energy. That place is where I've been for quite a long period of time. I did not know it existed. I created the concept. I came up with the idea, and I'm here. And because I'm here, my hope is you are there or you will be there soon. So recognize something. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I'm referring to all the toxicity you experienced and all of the manipulating behaviors that you experienced and all the close calls you had, which I'll talk about probably tomorrow, and all the drama. When you see it, you really, really get frozen. You're shocked. Did I just see that? Is that what happened? Well, yes and yes. When it all goes away and you heal, you'll look back and say, I cannot believe I was in that loop of manipulation. I cannot believe I was in that cycle. I cannot believe I didn't know what was going on and that they did. And now I'm where I'm supposed to be. And I can never unsee what I've seen. I need to remember where I was, not focus on it. I need to stay in the present moment, which is the right here, right now, and not predict the future. Because the right here, the right now, the present moment is where the abundance takes place. This is where you belong. This is where I am. And this is where you're headed towards, or you already have arrived. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And recognize a couple things. When you see it, you can't unsee it. Before you met the narcissist, I am sure there were certain things you saw that either intentionally or unintentionally that you wish you didn't see. I'm not going to give you examples. You probably know what they are. Whatever they were, you're like, ouch, wish I didn't see that son of a gun, but I saw it. Well, and if someone were, let's say you were in your early 20s and you saw something you didn't want to see, and then maybe one of your friends is like, hey, let me see it. And you're like, no, you don't want to see that. Trust me, you don't want to see that. It's not good. And then they're like, oh, hey, thanks for telling me that. I don't want that in my head. Well, that is real life when you're with the narcissist, but you couldn't see it because you were in it. When you're out, you don't want anyone else to go through this. Heck, you didn't want to go through it. I didn't want to go through it. And you want to help people so they don't go through it. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it, which is why you need to heal. Because this is the relationship you need to heal from. And that's why I create videos every day. And that's why you're here, keeping your cup full. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.